Hello, my name is Charlie Peter Paul. I'm Chief of the Mi'kmaq Nation. So tribal sovereignty is, our tribe being able to create its destiny. It's important, in many ways. It's about the health, safety, and the welfare of the tribe, and we need to control, what's around us, what we're doing in regards to, economic development, funding opportunities. All of this is important. We need to be able to survive however we can. Like, sovereignty back in the day was, just living off the land. As simple as that. We had everything we needed at our fingertips. So you go from a society where, you have everything you need at your fingertips to boom, you have all these rules and regulations. Well, for, how many thousands of years, we were here, we governed ourselves, we lived here easily. And, in this, and that was sovereignty. We didn't rely on anybody. We relied on ourselves. And having the state exert its authority over us is kind of hard for the tribe, because we need to be allowed to grow, how we see fit. It's not how the state sees fit, it's how we see fit.
Sovereignty is one of those terms that I did not understand for the longest time, because it is such a deep subject. Sovereignty is one of those terminologies. It's a colonial term and for Mi'kmaq speakers is very difficult to attain. But when you go back in history and you take a look at the way our people lived, we lived in a time where you can go hunting and come back and people would help and share. And that's just it, I guess. Now it's when we started living in the reservations, we could not hunt because our area was overhunted. All the resources were slowly being depleted. We relied so heavily on the government and they would give us monthly rations of flour, of sugar, coffee, and so on. And it did not matter how many children you had in your home, you would still get the same rations. So people back then, they wanted to be able to take care of themselves, which is what I believe that sovereignty is. Being able to take care of your people, which is very difficult, because being able to take care of your people today means that we have to think about not only about the food for the people, it's the economy. It's not only taking care and making sure that our elders are warm and our children and all this, it's the energy consumption, it's the homes and so on. So it's all of those aspects and being self-sufficient. So when it comes to this, it's very difficult to really think about self-sufficiency when you have a government that has enabled us for such a long time. Our people, we were hunter-gatherers, so we relied on ourselves. But now we were forced to rely on the government's rations. We were forced to rely on our knowledge of what we knew, how to build houses, how to go about making sure that that we have adequate water, clean water, and so on. So we had people that they would have to get educated. But the thing is that when you become educated and you come back to work for your tribe or for your people, there was no place for them. So they would have to go outside of their reservation or outside of their home to find a job that was feasible or similar to what they had went to school for. a lot of people, they want to work for their people. They want to work for their tribe. They want to work to help their people, but there is not enough money. And that's the difficulty, is that the balance is so delicate. It has to be the economy and the resources and the people and so on. It has to be perfectly balanced. So it makes it very difficult to really take a look at true sovereignty is being able to rely on yourself instead of relying on a government or any other entity.
The importance of tribal courts is really how we look at the world, how we interpret the world, right? It's like they have the Penobscots have this thing they call a wellness court, where people go in and it's less about punishment, and it's more about rehabilitation or teaching people things. People only know what they learn, and we all think people learn good things all the time, right? And those are not the facts. People learn bad things, and they do bad things until you say, hey, that you need a corrective action plan. And I think that, a lot of things can be corrected in a gentler way than always just, punishing somebody for something that they do. Because it's like, we're all products of our environment. If you are raised the right way, given the right tools, and given everything you need to be happy, then you're a different person. I'm not saying that you're going to be a great person, but you've got a good base. You're more than likely going to be a good person. Because there is bad and evil here, and sometimes we can't always control that. But if we can all do the same for our children, give them that equal base, I think that we could have a better future.
Well, the court issue, having a tribal court really is beneficial for the people. We understand our people more than anybody else will. And so the thing is like it's not that punishment is given, justice or anything like that. It's the fact that the people are hurt, and the people then would be able to, how can you serve back to the people that you hurt? How can you serve back? And it's that servitude that's really more about who we are than it is about punishment and justice and law. It's not about any of those aspects. Those aspects have been so foreign to us. We're people that shared. We shared our lands. We shared our meals. We shared our stories and so on. So for us, I feel like having our own tribal court will not only help the children that are taken from their homes, but also the people that are struggling with these alcohol and drugs. Because now the drugs are getting a little more difficult to deal with. And so many of the other tribes in Maine, have enacted a wellness program. Some have enacted medical assistant treatments and so on to help people. Other tribes in Canada have, other Mi'kmaq tribes, and it has been proven to work. Some use culture, while others, they use the servitude as well. Because sometimes some people are still dealing with not knowing their culture, their language. So the shame and the embarrassment of not knowing who you are is still with them. So it's very difficult to really think that any of these issues that we have go into the state of Maine or the city ordinance or whatever, their court system, because they do not know our people. Their servitude is putting people with other criminals that are in these jail cells. And for me, I feel that if you take a person and you place them with other criminals, they become better criminals. They become associated and networked with other people. Instead, I think that having that person instead network with kind people, people that know, elders, spiritual people, and so on. I think that network is a lot more better than this system. This system has not worked. This jail system has not worked. The punishment and so on still go on. They try to do recovery and so on, but it does not entirely work. It does to certain people, but not to all. The recovery basis for a person that uses substance abuse and all this and different substances, I feel that, for me personally, I feel that when a person is in recovery, knowing who they are and dealing with, you have to deal with the personal trauma of the person, because what is the reason that this person committed these crimes? Either be it an ICWA, Indian Child Welfare Act, or about a substance abuse. Something happened to this individual to make them who they are. And so instead of punishing them, let's heal them from the beginning, and then from there work together. And so for me, I feel that this court system would really benefit the people.
It is about our independence. It is about tribal politics. It's about the recognition of tribal rights, I guess. We do have Wabanaki Confederacy. That's a, I wouldn't say it's a political entity. It's more cultural and spiritual. And then we're trying to start a consortium with the other 5 tribes or 4 tribes. So there'll be 5 of us, with each reservation, putting energy or something to the entity. So we chose to stay together, and it's something we want to do to help maintain these relationships and think, and it's how we're thinking about our government. It's we have like-minded people that think we all have a right. We're all here, we all have a right.